afternoon hangout. Gonna make some bread. Gonna make some Italian chicken soup. Kind of just a afternoon hang. Had a few things that I wanted to unlock. That I unlocked a few features on YouTube for streaming, and I wanted to see if they worked. So if anybody's out there and they can hear and see me okay, I would greatly appreciate it if you would hit the like button. And if not, imagine eventually somebody will come in. Just how it is. That's just how that usually works. All right. So anyway, we're going to start with our. We're going to start with making self-rising flour. Now, the reason I'm making self-rising flour is because I just have all-purpose flour here, and a lot of times people don't know how to make their own self-rising flour. So I figured I would show you how I make self-rising flour real quick. It's not hard, and it actually saves you a lot of money on when you go to buy regular flour. So today we're going to make some yogurt bread, which you guys have seen me make yogurt bread a time or two, and there is a recipe in the community post section. What's going on, Eric? But there is a recipe for my yogurt bread in my community post section. Rick Stumble, what's going on, buddy? I'm just kind of doing an afternoon hang. I'm getting ready to make some, I was messing with some features on YouTube that I've unlocked, and I was getting ready to make some bread and some chicken soup, so I figured I'd just see if these all work. So if everybody can hear me, can you guys all hear me okay? Because that's one of the things I was messing with, was the audio. And I wanted to be able to add some background music. So I figured I'd try it on a day where I'm not normally supposed to be up. So I'm just doing it. Trying it out. I don't even know if you guys can hear the music in the background. Can you hear me good? Okay, great. Excelente. Yes, can hear. Okay. Very cool. All right. So, like I said, this isn't normally one of my usual videos, but I just wanted to pop on and say what's up and mess around with this YouTube today. So first off, we're going to start. I have about 1 1/4 cup of homemade yogurt I made here at the house, which was pretty easy to do. I was pretty surprised at how easy making my own yogurt was, and you can see it doesn't look exactly like your regular yogurt that you get from the store, but it's really, really good. This is just plain, made with dairy milk, whole milk. So it's basically, yeah, that's the difference. I didn't use a Greek yogurt to start. This is just plain regular yogurt. I drained the stuff off the top. And since I just have a little bit more than a cup, usually the recipe for this is, the music not so much. Okay, cool. I just didn't want it to be, can you make your own coconut? I've never made my own coconut oil, TJ. Thanks for showing up though. But yeah, usually the recipe for this is 1 3/4 cups of yogurt, Greek or regular, and 3 cups of flour. But I just have a little bit of, I actually have to make more yogurt this weekend. So, which I might do that. I might have you guys on when I do the yogurt part. But the thing of it is after it's made, it has to sit for 24 hours. I do mine in a cooler, so yeah, I have to, let it sit for 24 hours. So it's basically just the making it part. And I don't like to sit around and edit videos. That's kind of not my bag, as they say. So a lot of times I just rather to go live and people can look that kind of stuff up. What's going on, Huey? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, Eric, thanks. Yeah, please do tap the like button. So anyway, in a separate bowl, in a smaller bowl, I'm gonna put that in there. But I wanted to do in a separate bowl, I'm gonna whisk this stuff, the self-rising flour together. Now, like I said, I don't have self-rising flour. So, yeah, you working? Yeah, me too. I'm working. So I'm going to mix this onto the side here in another bowl so I can whisk this together. So I'm going to go with 2 1/2 cups of regular all-purpose King Arthur. And I just have this bag sitting out because I just filled up my my flour container, so I've got whatever's left in this bag. That'll be about 2 cups. And I'm gonna do another 1/4 cup. Or no, 1/2 cup, sorry. I'm gonna do a 1/2 cup. No, I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup. I'm gonna use the 1/4 cup. Because I wanna make sure I have enough yogurt for this. So, but the rule for making your own self-rising flour is to have, what is it, 1.5, it's 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder for every, hey Ronald Coward, what's going on? But it's 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt for every cup of flour you use. So then I'm just gonna add the rest of this. This is sort of my runoff jar that you guys see me use all the time. So we'll just, and these are handy because I like having these laying around up in the cupboard because I don't have to have the measuring cups out. I just break these out and it's already ready to go. So there's that. What are you gonna make? Today I'm just gonna make some yogurt bread S, and I'm going to make some Italian chicken soup. But I'm making everything basically for later. The bread might be done by the time the soup is simmering. We're not gonna go for the full effect, but I just wanted to kind of do a thing. Thank you very much. It's I got that at Le Creuset store. I'm lucky enough we have a Le Creuset outlet like about an hour from me, so I can go down there and take everybody. Never heard of yogurt bread? So yeah, so I can take the kids down there and it's like an outlet mall. We have this huge outlet mall and it has everything. And I can go in there and you get really good deals on Le Creuset out of that place. Never heard of yogurt bread? Is that like a sweet bread type thing? No, it's not sweet at all. Actually, you can make it sweet. You can use different flavors of yogurt if you want to flavor your bread. I actually thought about putting instant coffee in it to see if it would make coffee bread, but I don't want to. Oh, that'll be a different time. But I wanted to try and make coffee bread for sure, because I'm all about the coffee. So we've got 2¼ cups in here of the of just the regular all-purpose flour, and then I've got a 1/4 teaspoon. This is my 1/4 teaspoon of the salt, so we'll do 2 of these. And I don't mind if there's a little extra in there because I'm gonna salt the top of the bread anyway with some sea salt and make some salt. I put a salt topping on there. Is this an American recipe? You know, I'm not really sure, Bill. I'm not really sure if it is at all. Prepping is the best way forward. Health is wealth. Exactly. And one of the reasons I did start doing this channel is because I really changed a lot of stuff in my life. Like that's one of the reasons that I did switch to cast iron instead of using like commercial brand, and started restoring my own cast iron. 1, 2 and a half. Let's see, so that's 2. Yeah, so a half and a half. There we go. 2.5. 1.5 of these for every cup. So basically 3. But I just did it that way so I don't lose track, because I'm reading and I'm doing stuff at the same time. Yeah, Ricky, see you later, buddy. And I got your email, by the way. Content Bunny, exactly. Cast iron utensils are a lifesaver for anemic patients. There is a lot of studies that back that up. And that's 100% true. But yeah, I totally got rid of everything. I quit using as much plastic. I got as much plastic out of my life as I could. I switched everything over to stainless steel and glass and cast iron, and that's pretty. Ronald Coward, I'm gonna have to look at your. Yeah, my beard is needing help drying out and breaking off. What's the name of the site again? I sell everything on eBay because eBay is a really safe way for people to pick up my beard products. But it's 7 Shamrock Beard Company is the name that the name of my beard products company. 7 Shamrock's Beard Company. If you guys hold up 1 second, I can grab you. I just happen to have orders sitting there. It's too specific. Make it one word. What? Clarify for me, Eric. And then we're just going to whisk that all together. And then I'll grab a picture. I'll show you guys my beard products. And I also make cast iron cure, which is my cast iron seasoning. That's also available on eBay. So yeah, get the cast iron cure. Because my line of business is I'm a wax crafter. So yeah. So confused about what, guys? I can clarify it here. Go ahead and shoot away. I'll give you guys a second to talk amongst yourselves. Why I grabbed that? I just had to run over to the by the front door. So that's where I keep them. I've got orders going out today. Your profile name, when you type it in, it finds many channels. I don't know. If you don't, and it's better. Your profile name. I'm confused. But anyway, that's my beard products. That's the Beard Balm, 7 Shamrocks Beard Company. Beard Balm. And I also make beard oil. This one is this is the patchouli one. But I have I think 10 different scents. My number one sellers are the Bay Rum, which is what I use. And vanilla tobacco's my number one seller. Yeah. Love the colors. Thanks TJ, appreciate it. And if anybody hasn't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna whisk this stuff, finish whisking this up before I forget about what I was doing. Patchouli I love. I do. I sell a lot of that patchouli, by the way, and it's all 100% real patchouli, real dark patchouli. There's a lot of grades of patchouli, and there's the cheap stuff that you get at the fairs that's all watered down, and mine's 100% pure. And but yeah, you can go to eBay and pick any of my products up. And I use 100% beeswax from here in Amish country. It's a no spray zone, so that's 100% pesticide free. And then I use the best quality cold pressed oils that I can get my grubby little mitts on. Bohemian vibes. Kinda, yeah, I guess. I guess so. I'm listening to tiki music, like tiki lounge music. I don't know. It's a mix. Yeah, I haven't shaved my beard since 2013, and probably about this time, 2013. Grave before shaved, as they say. But I do have the oven heating up, so let's get this together here. This is starting to take a little while. What is your go-to frying cooking oil? I use, depends on what I'm cooking, to be super transparent. If I'm doing, I use a lot of, I don't use a lot of, what do you call it, vegetable oil? I don't use a lot of that, but though I will use it if that's what I have. But I use a lot of avocado and a lot of grapeseed oil. That's generally what I use. Mix this around, get this. One thing about this is that it does go together really dry, and if it does, you can add just a little bit of water or milk to it. And I can actually scrape out a little bit more yogurt out of there if I absolutely have to. Olive oil? Yeah, I do. Oh, and I do use a lot of olive oil. I do use a lot of olive oil. This takes a minute. You know, my oven's up to temperature. Must have been yapping. I call vegetable oil. I guess you can. There's a lot of old milk. There's a lot of stuff that run on milk. One of my buddies, this guy I used to work with, had a military deuce and a half truck. If you've ever seen one of those, they're huge. They're kind of like the ones you saw like in the old TV, like you see in a lot of like the World War II movies and the TV shows. But he had a deuce and a half truck, and it supposedly would run on vegetable oil. I mean, I never saw him. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, coconut oil. I do use coconut oil for different things, but I don't really cook with it a whole lot, to be super honest. There we go. Get that out of there. Get that off there, and then we'll just, because I really don't need the whisk anymore. Get that out of there. But this yogurt bread is super, super good. It's kind of like sourdough bread in the way that it turns out, but it turns out it's not as airy. It doesn't have as many holes, so it's more like a sandwich bread than sourdough. And the other part of it that I really like is it's super easy. Like, this will be done in like 45 minutes. I'll be munching on bread, and there's nothing in it. You know what I mean? There's nothing in it. It's just milk and flour. That's it. So if you're gonna go, with an all-natural bread, this is about as all-natural as you go. And it works really good for like sandwiches. It works really good for, table bread. You can break this all apart and make biscuits. You can do anything like that. I use a big fork to mix. The whisk fills up. Yeah, like this one just did. Yeah, 100%. I'm about to do this with my hands, actually, Ronald. That's what I was about to get into. I just wanted to kind of make sure that I got the yogurt in there, because this is such a dry, but you end up, when you end up doing this, you're almost like kneading it, you're like pushing it all together to make a ball. It works pretty good. It actually, usually if I'm not doing this live, I do it in my KitchenAid, but I don't like the sound of the KitchenAid while I'm doing the live streams, so I just sort of put up with it. There you go. And then we'll get in here and we'll start smashing this all together. And then we'll put it out on the counter and knead it together. Because it's such a different consistency to work with than working with your regular like a regular flat bread recipe of how it goes together. It's really bizarre. And it has a really weird feeling when you're doing it. Like, dough has that like elastic feel. How long do you have to bake it? We do, I'm gonna start it at, usually my recipe that I normally do, Bill, is 25 minutes at 450 with the lid on, a Dutch oven, and 10 minutes at 375 without the lid on is usually what I do. But I'm gonna take that down because I don't want the crust as crunchy as normal, and I'm gonna see how that goes. I'm gonna see how that rolls, to be honest. I might just add a little bit of water. I don't know if I have any more milk. Today's generally this evening's my store night. I usually go on Mondays or Tuesdays to the grocery store. That way Tuesday preferably, but I'm out of about everything. I bet I haven't been to the grocery store in 3 to 4 weeks, I bet. There we go. Yeah, I might have to add just a little bit of water to this. Just a little bit. I could have avoided some of that by not draining the whey out of it, because that's what I had on the top. If you saw what I was like pouring off, I was pouring off the whey, and if you want to leave that in there, you can, so you can, and then just add more flour. I actually thought it would be a little a little, actually I thought it would be a little moister than it is. There we go. So I'm basically just, when I shook that up, I'm just adding a little bit of the whey back in there. There we go. That just needs about 5 minutes to set up. Yeah, I just needed just a little bit more, just that touch more. And like I said, and I'm eyeballing this as well. So, because I didn't have the exact amount, I had to go with what I had in my yogurt container. There we go. So I guess you guys can hear the music in the background. Yeah, Padsy, we're doing a little bonus one today. Mercy B, how are you? Good to see you too. Yeah, I'm just making some bread. I'm kind of making everything for dinner tonight. But I am going to have a little bit of this bread. It's been sort of a lazy day. I got up early this morning for a few hours. I got up at like 5 o'clock and I kind of milled around and did some stuff. And then I went back to bed I went back to bed for like 2 hours. So I didn't get up. I really didn't wake up till about 11:30. Stayed up late and watched baseball last night. Just a little baseball. Hung out, had a couple drinks. Had a couple drinks yesterday afternoon. And this is a shaggy dough, so this isn't your normal, what you're used to using like for bread. And this is going to be a little loaf. It's not going to get much bigger than that. And we'll set that off to the side. Put a towel over top of it and wash my hands. Choo-choo, Rich. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Again today, I should say. Just cover that up. You don't really need, it's not going to need a bunch of rise time, but we'll get our oven ready to go. Plus this keeps debris out of everything. There we go. Set that off to the side. I slept for 14 hours straight last Saturday. Been working tons of overtime. Oh wow. Do they have that new thing to where you're not being taxed for overtime? Is that kicked in? I was actually going to ask my daughter that today. She's been working a lot of overtime. And I didn't know if they had started doing that or not. That's pretty hell. I kind of dig that. Because I always hated working overtime because you never got your, by the time it was all over. I don't think so yet. Okay. But yeah, I always hated it because by the time they got done with you on the taxes, I mean, you basically gave one of your days away. So I think that's pretty cool. Not sure whose idea that was, but it's a good one. And the tips. What are the tips too? No tax on tips. Yeah, that will help my checks. Yeah, 100%. Help everybody's out. I'm glad to see. It's like my Ming just got her first job about a month ago, and she's oh, I need to heat this thing up. Sorry guys. I gotta put that back in there. I gotta put this in there for a couple minutes. There we go. Oh, that's what it is? Almost to 100, almost to 1,000 subs. Yeah, man, I'd like to get there. I would really like to get to that point. See what happens. It's been picking up a little bit of steam here and there. Just gonna cut my carrots. I got some carrots out of the last of my carrots out of the garden yesterday. So I'm gonna trim these up, and actually gonna bring this bowl back over there so I can put my waste into that. I'm gonna clean these up. They're a lot of them are pretty small, but it's just what was left in the garden. These were the ones that were in the container. They weren't in the ground. So they were just in like a big, honestly, it's a half of a barrel that I cut in half, wood barrel, and that's what I've planted my carrots in. The first round, we had 2 rounds. The first round came out And these were supposed to be a bunch of different colors. The first round was like purple and white and orange and yellow. And then these last ones, they've just, they're all orange. And I'm not even going to cut them up. I'm just going to throw them in there the way they are. Because by the time they cook down tonight, they're going to be in little pieces. So, if Val's watching, I kind of wondered if Val would be in today. Live on Monday afternoon. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. Just kind of a hangout kind of show today. I was trying out some new stuff. I was trying to check. I was messing with the audio today, Tom, and I was seeing if I could have background music while I was doing the streams, and if people could hear me as the music was on and all that. So I wanted to do that, and then there was a couple features with the camera that I was messing with, but I don't think they 100 people viewing, hit the like button. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like I said, the camera thing didn't work out, so I got to mess with the camera thing a little bit more. I'm trying to get the camera to do better. I'm like, and yelling at the camera, just tell it to do better, isn't working out for me that well. So, anyway. But I'm hoping that the audio stuff that I did will make so where you can hear me better. I don't peel potatoes or carrots. I normally wouldn't do a lot of peeling on these, but that soil that they were in wasn't my greatest soil, and it did flood at one point because the holes got clogged that I drilled into the sides. They got clogged up with the soil that I used, so I didn't trust the soil for like it's not the cleanest soil. Plus, it was like part of my compost, so I used compost in there. Jammed to some tiki music. Yeah, 100%, man. Tiki music rocks. It really does. It's relaxing. I think what it is my grandparents used to love Don Ho when I was a kid, real little kid, and they even went and saw Don Ho out in Hawaii for vacation one year. And somewhere around here, there's a autograph. Got a Don Ho autograph in one of my boxes of keepsakes somewhere. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got all the stuff off there, because when those things flooded, when they flooded, they were behind my pumpkins, and I didn't know they were flooded for I bet it was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, two weeks at least before I realized my containers were flooded. So I don't know what the heck was all hanging out in there. Could have been damn near anything. There we go. I'm not gonna peel the little ones. And and like I said, I'm not even gonna cut these up. I'm just gonna do them this way. But I was really wanting to make this soup. I'm not even really gonna cut the chicken up that much. I'm just gonna let this simmer. This is gonna be, I probably won't have dinner till, I'm actually eating late because I got up, I have like a window on for my diet program. So whenever Don was very popular back in the day. And the picture, my grandparents have a picture, I think I even mentioned this on one of the streams, but he used to kiss all the big thing. He was kind of like the Richard Dawson, I think that guy's name was. And, but how Richard Dawson used to kiss all the ladies, and Don Ho did the same thing. And my grandmother was they were walking to go get drinks, up to the bar to go get their drinks. And she walked by the stage, and Don Ho's skit was he would kiss women, and then he had a photographer there at the same time. And he would, hi Myrna, how are you? Good to see you. And he had a photographer there. He would kiss the women, and then they would develop the pictures. Like you had a thing you could do, because it was Don Ho. Don Ho had his own like he had his own restaurants and like lounges in Hawaii, in Maui, I think it was. And so for like 10 or 15 bucks back in the day, which, back in the 70s probably it was, they would take the picture, you'd fill out a thing, like you'd put your name on an envelope, and then they'd send you an autographed 8x10 of you getting kissed by Don Ho. And I don't remember exactly how that worked out, because I was probably like 5 years old, six years old when they went to Hawaii. But yeah, that was kind of the it was pretty cool. And then the funny thing is my grandmother didn't like put out a whole lot of stuff that, like, she had pictures and stuff, but they had that picture in the living room of my grandma getting that autographed picture of my grandma getting kissed by Don Ho, and it was up for years. I don't know whatever happened to it. Eventually they took it down. My grandma was big about decorating, so she she would change stuff. I don't know whatever happened to that picture, but it was there forever. My grandpa thought it was funny, man. Grandpa always got a kick out of that. He used to like telling the story. He was always telling that story, actually. He told that story a lot, and people would ask about it. The picture. He got the biggest kick out of it. But yeah, they were big, like, Don Ho, Lawrence Welk kind of folks. You know, my grandparents were like Depression era. I think both my grandparents were born in like 1920, 1919. So, you know, that was sort of their big thing, you know. Carrots is unnecessary and gay. I'm just using them up. I'm not a big carrot person. I don't use a lot of carrots, to be honest with you. And the people that like to have the carrot diets, if you ever look this up. People that have a lot of like live on carrot diets, carrot juice, and they do those weird diets, they have a lot of internal problems, man. They have a lot of internal problems. It's one thing I have noticed. So I don't use a lot of carrots, but I'm using these up because they were in the garden. So yeah, it's 100% whey, Running Man. 100% whey. They like Steve Jobs lived on carrots, and he had gallbladder. He got pain. He died. He had a really bad gallbladder. It causes a lot of if you have a lot of carrots in your diet, it can really mess your gallbladder and your pancreas up. And even that Ashton Kutcher guy who played Steve Jobs in that movie, he did the same thing, and he went because he wanted to have that color. Steve Jobs was like kind of like had an orange kind of hue to him because of that, and because of the carrots he was on. And Ashton Kutcher did that to get ready for the role. Got a little parsley out of the garden today. Just throw that in there. And he ended up having Ashton Kutcher got really bad gallbladder issues from being on that carrot diet for that role. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what that is, but man, I'll tell you what, it is. I have some. I kind of find carrots, I'm kind of, you know, I like the flavor of them, but like in stuff, like in soup, in chicken soup, basically that's when I have carrots. It's chicken soup. I don't go out of my way to I don't buy carrots at the store unless I'm, you know, even if I'm going to do like soup in the wintertime, I have like canned carrots around. I'm not a big carrot person. I do like carrot cake, and that's something I thought about making carrot cake out of those, but then I thought, man, that's a little more work than I want to get into. Carrot cake is kind of, seems like a lot of work. I've never made carrot cake. And carrot cake is okay, but you got to have the cream cheese. Yeah, it makes you orange. And that's, like I said, you know, when Ashton Kutcher did that role, he wanted to have that skin complexion of the later life Steve Jobs. And then he ended up messing his gallbladder up. You mess your gallbladder up, there's no going back. I mean, it's something you can live without, but it's hard to fix. I know when I was doing a keto diet, the reason I don't keto anymore is because it really messed with my gallbladder, like bad. And that's one of the downsides of doing keto is is you can mess up your gallbladder in certain people. Everybody's different, you know. Everybody's different. Some people can do it forever, and some people, it gives them problems. And I'm one of those people. It gave me problems. But I was only having like 10 carbs. I was only having 10 carbs a gram, 10 grams of carbs a day for probably 3 to 4 months. Okay, so there we had in case I didn't say, we had that's how I get my veggies, carrot cake, right? But yeah, we had regular sweet basil. I had the purple basil. I had some German thyme that I threw in there, and then I had Italian oregano. That's what I have. That's for the herbs, for the chicken. So I think we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna move this stuff off to the side for a minute, because I would imagine that my Dutch oven is ready to go. So let's get that out. Let me get a trivet down for that, one of my bigger ones. Hey Huey, good to see you. Again. You home? We're saved. So let's get a trivet down, because I heated up the Dutch oven to 425, and then we're going to get that out. And then we're going to do a couple things that I highly recommend doing when doing bread when you're doing bread in a Dutch oven with the lid closed. So, little technique I picked up, and I really like doing it this way. So here we go. And that should be nice and steamy. Okay. I'm still in the office, just had to go pick up computers. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could use a new computer. I could use a new, what's the word I'm looking for? Desktop computer. I could use one. So we're going to put some parchment paper in there. A big sheet of that. Ooh, this oven's starting to heat it up in here. It's 81. It's supposed to be 81 here today. So if you can't get your parchment paper to lay flat, crinkle it up. That helps a little bit. It doesn't solve all your problems, but it helps some. Then you put that in there. I'm going to put just a little dusting of flour on there, in here. Not much. It doesn't need, you don't need much. It shouldn't stick, this shouldn't stick to the parchment paper anyway. Okay, so we're going to get that. Yeah, we're all working. I'm working. This is kind of my job, essentially. Whatever that's worth. Okay. For whatever that's worth. Drop that in there. We're going to put a quick slice in the top of that. I should have got this out ahead of time. I know it doesn't look like much now, but it will. Sometimes though, yogurt bread does blow out a little bit. Okay, that's not wanting to play ball. I probably need to clean it. So we'll add a little slice to the top. Don't go real slow, or it'll just tear it. And then we'll grab our sea salt, and we'll drop some sea salt on top of that, which I should have had out, but I did not. And it's pretty sticky, so I'm not going to use any kind of I'm not going to need to use, can you guys see that okay? Get you guys right over top of that, as much as I can, I guess. Add the sea salt to the top. The top's already sticky, and I'm not going to add any like egg wash to this, though you can if you'd like. But this is a pretty, one thing about this bread is it's The reason I add that little bit of extra salt in there on the top, because it can be a little bland. So, it's yogurt bread, you know. Toss that outside. Toss the salt out there. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to take, this is one thing I highly recommend when you're doing bread in a Dutch oven with the lid on, is you take about 4 ice cubes and you put behind the parchment paper. There you go. I'm in the market for a new Bluetooth. And you put a few ice cubes behind there, and that's going to give you steam, and that's going to give you a nicer finish on the outside of your bread. I just got Ming I just got her a Bose Bluetooth speaker, and she really likes it. I had never used it myself. It was kind of one of those things I got her and she took with her. There we go, put that on top. There we go. And we're gonna throw that into the oven for 25 minutes. And then we're gonna go to cutting our chicken up. There we go, all right. Put that in the oven. And not knock the stand over if at all possible. And it's also important that you heat the your Dutch oven up ahead of time. Absolutely, 100%. Heat that up. Okay, so there's that. And we're going to get the other Dutch oven out right now, because the other star of the show is my other Dutch oven, which is just like the other one, except this one is blue. I'll set that down right there for a second. The other Dutch oven, there we go. You can tell the one I use for bread because the inside's just black. I mean, it's black, 100% darkened up. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move this back again as I move everybody around. So I'm working in a pretty small spot for right now. So here, move that over there. And those are 5.2 quart Dutch ovens. Yeah, the trick with the ice cubes. Yeah, I learned that from, gosh, I want to say Julia Child, but I might be making that up in my head, to be really honest. I'm not sure if I learned that from Julia Child or somewhere else. So then in here I've got, move this off to the side as well. And then here I've got almost 2 pounds of chicken. And I marinated those in, what did I marinate them in? Worcestershire sauce, lemon juice, and white pepper. That's what I've got going on in that. And then I'll get my cutting board out. And we'll kind of trim these off, some of this stuff off of there. Get the cutting board out, move some of this stuff around, get our cutting board cover and some gloves. And we'll go from there. Oh, I forgot to set the timer. So we'll go 20 minutes. I'll still do the 25 minutes on the bread, just to say we did it. Because I am going 20 degrees lighter on the temp than I normally do. Let's see. And I'm gonna I'm also gonna heat up that Dutch oven just a little bit. Let's see, where did everyone go? I don't know. I didn't know how many people were here. I haven't even looked. I've been busy. That's a funny thing. I never look at that stuff. I never have time. I barely have time to read the comments. I get like locked into what I'm doing, and then I forget to look at the comments. So I have to remember to do that a lot. They left? Where'd everybody go? I don't know. Fat's easier. That's when fat's easier. That's when the party starts. I know that for a fact. Pat probably has a T-shirt that says "I like to party" on it. Let's see, you sound like a mess in the kitchen. You forgot. March Mena. Hello, March Mena. How are you? Let's see here. Trim off some of the fat off this chicken. One, because the beagle likes the fat from the chicken. So my animal is part animal. Pat Z, you can be my spirit animal. I'll live vicariously through you. There we go. Okay, so we'll trim this chicken up. And speaking of oil, we'll put I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil over here into the Dutch oven. A smidge, as they say. Yeah, the Beegs. I don't know where the Beegs is. I don't know where the heck the Beegs is. I've tripped over her twice today. I'm surprised she's not, like, right behind me. That's where she's been like that so much today that I actually looked right behind me to see where she was. It's been like that since I opened my eyes up today, and she army crawled across me. She jumped in bed and then army crawled across me till I got out of bed. I have an older version. Oh, the Bluetooth speakers? Roger that. So like I said, I'm not gonna trim them up too much. I am gonna do, I should have grabbed that with my other hand. I'm just gonna kind of cut these into strips. And I don't really mind the fat on there too much, because I'm gonna kind of let that sort of render, because I'm not using the stock. I very rarely ever use chicken stock in my chicken soup. I let it cook down. I throw a little bit of butter in there, and that's what I let the chicken do its own thing. So yeah, chicken stock is kind of like, to me, I just don't use it very often. So throw that over there, into there, and these real fatty pieces. I mean, they're really just that's just beagle treats. Is really all that is. And I'll keep that piece. It's good for a coat. It's good for a coat. Keeps that dog from shedding, because she is a shedding dog. And that was one of the things I thought was cool when I got her, is that they were like, oh no, she doesn't. They don't shed very much. Yeah, they were not telling me the truth at all. So anyway, enough about the dog and her shedding. Check comment section here. Man, oh man, I came early today and went to get a flu shot at 6 a.m. It always makes, yeah. You know, the only time I ever got a flu shot, I got so sick that year. It's like one of the sickest I've ever been is the year I got a flu shot. That and like 2 years ago, I got really sick. But I don't get sick very often. But I was even surprised this past winter when I got a sore throat. I had a sore throat for like a week. That was just absolutely. I thought for sure I was going to die from a sore throat. It was the worst sore throat. Even my throat was so sore that like anytime I would take put one of the a Halls in my mouth, it just burnt my throat. I couldn't even do like lozenges. The only thing that ever fixed me was Tang. That instant breakfast drink, Tang. That's why I drank Tang for like 3 days, and I was 100% after like all that vitamin C. There we go. I don't think I've ever had a flu shot. Yeah, I had it once. I think like years and years and years ago when it came out. I'm thinking like this is probably like 2000 and maybe 2006. Something like that. I think that was the one time that I got it, and they were giving them out at work, and I was like, why not, tried it out. And that winter, man, I got, like I said, I was just like, I had to have somebody come get the kids. I was that sick. I had to have somebody come and bring the kids, like come and get them. And I think that's the one time I've ever asked my mom to like watch the kids, like have to watch the kids. That was the one time that happened. There we go. There we go. Man, but yeah, I thought I was gonna die. What you making with the chicken? I'm making Italian chicken soup, and I'm not sure if I'm putting noodles in it or not. But I've got all afternoon to decide about the noodles. I doubt I will, but you never say never around my house, because anything could happen. What was the day on Mickey Mouse Club where anything could happen? What was that? Was that Wednesdays? Was Wednesdays anything could happen day? I don't think we had Mickey Mouse Club, but I remember watching the reruns of it when I was a little kid. I think that was on in the 50s. I was watching it in like the 70s, 80s, like on reruns. Because we had the ultimate, where I grew up, we had the ultimate farm division. We had the four channels, and they weren't big TV stations either. They weren't paying much money for. I'm sure they didn't pay a whole lot of money for the programming I was watching. Because I can still remember like a lot of that stuff, like old Japanese like movies and stuff. Well, kids' tendencies of doing that. Let's see. That's a surefire way to stay sick, Huey. What's that? I missed that. Sorry, I'm trying to watch what I'm doing. I've always got Val in the back of my head now, making sure that I'm not cutting myself. So I'm like kind of paying attention to how I'm doing this stuff. But the chicken smells great. I mean, I don't much use a lot of Worcestershire sauce like in the pans, like when I'm using it, but I do like it for marinating stuff. It does do a great job for marinating everything. There we go. Those end pieces off. He married a teacher who's around kids. Oh yeah, yeah. My mom worked for the school system, and that woman was never sick. My mom's immunity. She could go. I mean, my mom. I don't even remember the last time my mom got sick. But she worked in the school system. She was a nutritionist for the schools for 30 years. And, like, she was in school. She worked at the school, like, when I was still in school. And then she just retired. I don't know. She's been retired for a little while, but not that long. Maybe retired maybe 5-6 years ago. But, yeah. And she's never sick. But she was also a nutritionist too. She eats like, my mom is the most rigorously healthy eater in the world. She like absolutely, and she doesn't, my mom was counting calories and things like that before counting calories was cool. My dad was the same way. He wasn't a calorie counter, but he was real conscious of what he ate. Yeah, somebody was talking about antibiotics the other day, and I was like, we never got antibiotics when we were kids. You had to go to the dentist or somewhere like that before you got an antibiotic. Yeah, the beagle, yeah, she eats pretty good. I finally got an Indian number 9. Oh yeah, that's cool. Did you get it off eBay? I saw one on there. I was actually thinking about selling my 7 and getting some other Indians. Kind of sacrificing the 7 so I could get some other Indian stuff. There we go. but I don't know what I would get for the 7. Probably a good buck. I'd probably do all right on the 7 if I sold it. I think they go for around what, $700-800 last time I looked. That's what it'd take to get it out of my hand anyway. There we go. We're just about done with the chicken. There we go. Okay, cool. Chicken is, for the most part, a done deal. I'm gonna lift that. I'm gonna turn this back thing on here. I'm gonna cook this up. I'm gonna cook this stuff up for the bagel. I should have put it on that exhaust. I wouldn't have to heat that pan up. There we go. The only Indian I have is cracked. Oh, really? Yeah, I know. It does need sharpened, Dak. It does need sharpened. So what was I cutting with it the other? I was cutting something the other day, and I really did the number on it. I've got this thing here that I use. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of these. But I have a stone hone. That's what I use. I use this old Rodrigo. And then I use that other knife sharpener. It does okay, the one, like the everyday one. But I forgot about that. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it definitely needs sharp. But I use my knives a lot too, so I mean, we've done, I don't know how many meals. I don't eat out very often. So I probably make, I guess there's probably make 14 meals a week at home. Because I usually don't eat lunch. I'm not a big lunch eater. I usually just have a little bit of breakfast. Like this morning I had a couple eggs. That was my big, couple scrambled eggs. I didn't even have it like toast or anything. I just sprinkled a little cheese on it. That was about it. Clean it up. But that little knife sharpener that is there on the block, it actually does a pretty decent job. I was pretty surprised for like a $5 sharpener. And the hone does a great job. Those old Rodrigo hones, if you can find one, they do a fantastic job. They really do. But yeah, this little thing here, I like this. And it does a pretty decent job. It's got the coarse and the fine side, and you just, no pressure. And I chipped my knife. I did chip my knife. I'm gonna be in the market for a new chef's knife here pretty quick. I did take a big chip out of it the other day. That wasn't helping as I was doing that chicken. I don't know if you guys, I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can see it. Right there and right there, I dropped it. Right there and right there, I dropped that thing. So I gotta grind it down. And that was, those two spots were snagging on that fat. There we go. Put that off to the side. I don't think I need to cut much else up. I think we're pretty much where we need to be. I usually cook a couple big meals on the weekends, and that's the leftovers. I work a lot. Yeah, when I'm working a lot, that's what I do. But I usually, like I said, I don't usually eat a lot of, I don't eat lunch, generally. Because it kind of, I don't know, it just bogs me, it sort of bogs me down during the day. So we've got our onions and our herbs. Like I usually eat something really light at lunchtime, like a banana or something. That's usually what I have. Get you guys over top so you can see down into there. So yeah, so we got our chicken, and it didn't take as long as I thought. Actually, the bread still has quite a bit. I was hoping we could unveil the bread, but I don't know if we're gonna get to that or not. And like I said, this was just a pop-up show. But if you guys want to stick around, we can stick around, and I can maybe answer some questions, some cast iron questions, maybe, and that kind of thing. So we get that, and we'll start turn this heat up a little bit. And I'm gonna throw, like I said, I don't put any stock in there, but what I do is I put about a quarter stick of butter, a little less, kind of a dollop of butter in there. And then we get our salt and pepper out. It's got quite a bit of pepper in it, so I'm not really, the chicken was marinated in white pepper, salt, pepper, which is mostly salt. That's mostly salt. My favorite live on YouTube is this. Thank you so much, Kevin Long. I appreciate it. I really do. Let's see, Huey. Let me know if you end up with an Indian you want to sell. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Brian, caramelize the onions. This is going to be soup. So I'm not gonna caramelize anything. I'm just here for the tiki jams. Me too. Rosa, what are you preparing? I'm making Italian chicken soup. I'm not sure about the noodles or not yet, and if I'm gonna do noodles for later. But this is just later. I was kind of messing with some of the new YouTube options that I had, and I wanted to try and I was messing with the audio today to see if I could have music in the background. Seeing if I would, because I've tried it before and I got feedback really bad. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, and I've got yogurt bread. I've got yogurt bread in the oven, Rosa. I'm not even going to attempt your last name. And we're going to put the carrots in there the way they are. So yeah, there's no reason to caramelize the onions at all. And it's got a healthy amount of vegetation rocking around in there. I don't have celery. Usually I would put a little bit of celery in there, but I do not have celery, which is one of the reasons I need to go to the grocery store. So I'm just going to add some dehydrated celery that I have. About a tablespoon of that. And I'm also going to add in a little bit of dehydrated chives because I put dehydrated chives in everything. I would put dehydrated chives, and I would put chives in my breakfast cereal if I could get them, if I didn't think they'd turn soggy. So a little bit of chive in there. About another tablespoon or so. And what else? Oh, and I was going to throw in one of my dehydrated peppers. One of my dehydrated cayenne peppers into there, just for a little bit of cayenne peppery goodness. These are holding up well. These are from last year. Pretty happy with that. Because this year my cayenne peppers didn't do as well as they did last year. Yeah, I love chives too. Yeah, I love chives. And that's the thing, I didn't grow chives this year because it's one of the reasons I have a container, like a garden bed, it's not actually a bed, it's more like a kind of a small garden bed, an enameled one that sits by the patio door, and I used to grow mint in it, but I let the mint die this year because I didn't want any more mint, because Ming has when she's not with me, she has access to fresh mint there too. So I just let them, I'm going to let them supply me with mint. Plus I have so much mint from last year that I have, I have so much dehydrated mint from last year that I'm not going to run out of mint this year, and probably not through the summer, so next summer. All right, so let's get in here and start mixing this up a little bit. Get the mix, that butter going in there. Get all those flavors going around each other. There was something else I was going to put in here. Now I can't remember what it is. I really don't remember. I think that looks pretty nice, as it is. Then we'll fill this up with a little bit of water. And then we'll start letting this thing simmer. We got about 4 minutes till the lid comes off of the bread, and we'll take that about halfway through. Do you have to stove on you? Don't stir it since you don't put chicken broth. I don't. Let's see. Do you have to? I kind of miss what you're getting to, Marsh. Sorry. Don't stir it if you don't put chicken broth in. Don't stir it because Don't stir it because I didn't put the chicken broth in. Is that what you're trying to say? I'm just mashing these up together. It's going to get stirred a whole bunch. Plus I had that butter in there. You get that butter all over everything. And then we're going to add water to it. And we're going to let that kind of chill out for the next couple hours. Till dinner time. About 5:30. Time is it now? My time is 4 o'clock. So I'll let this boil for about an hour, about an hour and a half. And all the vegetables should be good and tender. We'll let that sort of sit in there. Is the heat on? Yeah, the heat's on. It's on. I got it on the front burner, which is the smaller burner. It's more for like a number 3, number 5 size, so it's not getting as hot as it would normally. If that makes any sense. And when I go to actually cook this, I'm going to throw it on the back burner. Throw it back there. But I'm going to get the Beagle's chicken fried up here real quick while I wait on the bread to come out. I'm going to fry her stuff up in the old Pickle favorite. Just wipe this out. Put a little bit of oil in there. Let's see. Use a little bit of olive oil for that. I'll fry her stuff in butter. I think her stuff better be done in butter. Isabel, how are you? Good to see you. So we'll go over to here and we'll just move you guys this way to that side. Well, that's why I throw that in there. And this pan is super hot. We're just going to lightly cook that up for the Beagle. Because there's nothing in that can bother her. It's just chicken and Worcestershire sauce mostly, with a little splash of lemon. So that's not going to hurt that dog any. I've seen that dog ate a sock one time. So I don't think a little bit of Worcestershire sauce is going to hurt it. And that'll be her snacks for the next day or two. Ooh, there's a straight chicken. She can have that. The chicken smells good. That marinade smells really good. I like that. It was real simple. Just a little bit of a few splashes of lemon juice, and that was it. Yeah, you guys are watching. Now you're watching. You're watching me make dog food. The dog's in there chilling. If I didn't have the camera on stand, I'd show you. She's in there. She's got her feet up in the air on the couch, and there's tiki music playing in there. She's got the fan on her. It's the funniest thing ever. That dog's hilarious. Let that sit and hang out. Put the lid back on it. And we're about to the point where we're about to get the bread out of the oven, and we'll give that a check. Mostly when I'm getting the bread out of the oven with the lid off of it, it's just about done. I've actually taken the bread out, and it's been done. So, and by the way, Wagner glass lids do fit Pickle favorite ware. That's a Wagner ware number 8 on a Pickle ware number 8. So then we'll go back over to the soup. Bring you guys back over this way. There we go. Back over to here. Over to the soup. I'm sorry, I said soup, didn't I? There we go. Go over to that soup. We're already getting all that. It's already getting wet like that. The chicken juice is coming out of the chicken, and the oil's coming out of the vegetables, and that'll fill up. That'll fill up real nice. And I don't need a bunch of broth anyway. My soup doesn't have. When I make soup for like myself or for the kids, it doesn't really have a lot of broth. So some filtered water in there, just enough to cover it up. I think that soup's going to be really pretty by the time it's all said and done, because the carrots will come apart, and all that. They'll kind of break down. Okay. Flip that chicken around. Okay, so that part's done. Turn the chicken. Knock that chicken down a little bit. Take the heat off of that. Take the lid off. I just want that lid on there so it didn't splatter all over the place when I first put the chicken in. Okay. And we'll come over to the cutting board. There we go. There we go. And we'll get this back out there. Turn it back down. And I'll put the lid on my soup. I'll probably end up adding just a little bit more water to that soup, but not much. Not a whole lot. Alright. See how this bread looks. There we go. It kind of blew a little bit, but yogurt bread can do that sometimes. There we go. There we are. Could have put a little deeper thing in there. So far, so good. Thanks, Rich. It smells great. I love the smell of yogurt bread. It has a different, yogurt bread has a lot different smell than regular bread. It's like richer in a sense. It's like just a little bit richer than like a regular bread smell, but it doesn't have that like home baked bread smell. If that makes any sense. If I'm making sense of what I'm saying. Okay, move that lid. There's a beagle. All right, put this back in the oven for 10 more minutes. There we go. Timer, 10 minutes. And we'll knock that down to, we'll go down to 400. I'll go to 375. 375 on that. It's a baby loaf. Yeah, that's like I said, Mercy B. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but usually the recipe calls for 3 cups of flour and 1 3/4 cups of yogurt. But I only had just a little over 1 cup of yogurt, and so I just used 2 1/4 cups of flour. And I probably could have just got away with 2 cups of flour, and made the what do you call it? The self-rising flour. So what else? What do we got going on here? That might be about it. That might be it. We'll give that about 10 minutes. We'll do a little beagle cam for 10 minutes or so. A couple minutes. Biggs, you want a snack? You want a liver? I missed the beginning. Yeah. So I had to kind of like, how do I want to say it? I was kind of finagling the recipe a little bit. And it was kind of drier because I didn't have any more yogurt. You guys can you guys see the pumpkins out back? Kind of through the thing over there. The pumpkins, man, the pumpkins came out. I was so glad I got a second wave of pumpkins. So glad I got a second wave of pumpkins. Some of them are greener than I wanted them to be, but they got a pumpkins will get what's called like a fungus on them toward the end of the growing season, and it turns all the leaves white. And the problem is the only way to get rid of that is to either use an antifungal on your plants or to chop all the white leaves off. So I just chose to harvest the pumpkins instead of messing with all that stuff. There you want, right? Can I get a spin? Oh yeah, there we go. But yeah, so I just took them off. I'm gonna let them sit out there for a week, and let them get a little more orangey. And some of them are actually really pretty. They didn't turn all the way, so they're like a really dark green in spots. They're really pretty, actually. Can you speak? Can you do a speak? There you go. Man, you're all about that speak today. Good. You might want to burn your garden patch off. What do you mean, Ronald? Why would I do that? And I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm asked. Do you cook them up later? What, the pumpkins? Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna do a natural way to kill the fungus. Actually, what I did was I completely took it away, and I put it out. I actually called the city. I actually called right before I came on live. I called the city to come and pick it up with my leaves. Pick up all the vines and leaves and everything away. Take them away. Here you go. So yeah, and then I mowed up because I do that. I just run those. Like I don't have a garden like that. I don't have like a big patch in my backyard where that's like that. I just run them. I take about a foot away from the edge, all the way around my house, the back of my house, and I take that away. And then I put the roots down in the soil, and I just let them run through the yard. It makes my yard my yard looks really cool. I get a lot of compliments on my backyard with all the pumpkins in it at the end of the year. Can you spin? You can spin. There you go. All right. Yeah. So I don't actually. All my gardening is done in garden beds. I don't have like a garden, which I like. I actually like doing it that way. I could have an in-ground garden if I wanted to grow more stuff, but it keeps. I'm right next to the seriously, there's nothing behind me for 20 or 25 miles. There's nothing behind me but farms and Amish country and a lot of woods, and all I do is get squirrels, rabbits, and so when I put stuff into the ground, like I lost a lot of my pumpkin blossoms to the squirrels and the rabbits this year. That was one of the reasons that we put out the carrots, was to get rid of, I'm used to 60 by 100 foot patch. Yeah, I roger that. When I was a kid growing up, my mom would, we lived on a square acre. Our house was on a square acre, and my mom's garden ran 8 rows deep from the edge of our house and an acre long. That's how big our garden was growing up. But yeah, so come over here. We're gonna check the soup one more time. I got about 3 minutes, so the bread's gonna come out. We'll give that a taste test. We'll give our soup a spin and see how that looks. I think this is gonna. I love soup. I love chicken soup. I mean, I wouldn't want it for a last meal, but I do love chicken soup. See how it's starting to turn that nice yellowy color without any broth in there. But I think I am going to add just a little bit more. At some point, I'm going to add a little bit more water to it. But yeah, that's going to be really good. And the nice big chunks. Chunky soup ain't nothing on me. I can tell you that. It smells so good. The Italian herbs, right? I mean, I just picked these right before I came on and washed them. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say about 6, 7 o'clock tonight. This is going to be. Just sit and let that simmer. Give this chicken another stir and take that off. There we go. Let that simmer down. The Beagle treats going over here. I think those are pretty much done as well. That looks good. Bon appetit. Thank you very much. March, I'm glad you showed up today. Glad to see some familiar faces out there. For sure. Watch out, Beagle. Moving the camera because we're just about ready to pull that bread out. Pull the bread. I gotta get something to drink. I am dying. It gets so hot in here, and I don't run the fans while I'm on because then all you hear is the fans run. Ooh, coffee was good. There we go. All right, about 2 minutes on that. check the comments and see what's going on with the comments section. Yeah, but that's not bad. I mean, that's a nice little meal for, it took, I don't know what time it started. About an hour, 10 minutes ago. And other than the chicken, I mean, I basically made everything. I made the yogurt. I made this, fixed up the self-rising flour to go into it. So there wasn't a need for a whole bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? Whoever interior decorated kitchen had no talent. That's funny. I'm a great interior decorator, by the way. I'm a great interior decorator. It's eclectic, is what it is. It's eclectic. And it's all valuable. It's all valuable. You know, I looked at this thing, speaking of that, like this thing I've got all my spices on, that's a gateway, what do you call those things? An old soda pop case. You know those things go for almost $200 a piece now? $200 a piece. I got two of them at a garage sale when I was like a kid. Okay, chicken's done. Chicken's done for the beagle. So we'll get a bowl out for her. Plus, where else on YouTube are you getting tiki music? I mean, come on. Tiki music. You don't get that anywhere. It's hard to find. I remember one day I was listening to, I had like some jazz radio on. I just wanted some indiscriminate something in the background. And Min came in the kitchen, and it was in the morning, like a Sunday morning, and she sat here for a while, got her coffee cup out, and was sitting there making coffee, and she thought I was on hold. She thought I was on hold, waiting for. And then I had my speakerphone on. All right, so the chicken's done for the beagle. And we'll get this out of the way. My knives out of the way. Don't need those. And put that right there. It's making me want to sleep. See, when I have music on like that, it's not distracting. I don't want to get up and change it. Like I don't want to get up and go, I want the next song to come on. I don't feel like that. There we go. Check that out. Check that out, guys. I think that kind of came out pretty cool looking. It smells amazing. And I'll get out a rack and pull that stuff out of there. Oh, I heard you the first time. There we go. Get a rack to put it on. And I'm gonna rip a piece off of it and throw some butter on it while it's still hot. Let's see, freaking above here. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right, there we go. Are we back? I had a notice from YouTube's. There we go. Okay, we'll move this over to here. And I'll take that out and set it on the rack. And there we go. There we are. I think that looks pretty good. There we go. Elevator music looks good. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're all back up. And here we go. And there we are. Yogurt bread. One loaf. Alright. Best slice ever. Fresh bread out of the oven. Yeah, it's going to be really good. I know, that's why I have that butter sitting off to the side so it would be nice and soft. For when I took this out. I'll have to leave the parchment paper back in there. Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be pretty darn tasty. Thanks, Ronald. Best slice ever, fresh out of the oven, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Boy, that's got a nice crust. Can you guys see the salt and everything on there? That is looking pretty good. Yeah, a dusting of, I like dusting it with salt instead of the flour. Timer off, bake, turn the oven off. And then we're gonna slide that over. Let me see here. Let's get my bread knife out. You did good. Thank you, March. Thank you so much. Oh, let me grab my bread knife. Move this way just a smidge. Sorry. All right, cool. What piece do I want? I think I'll turn it around. I'll keep the rack so I'm gonna slice it on there, and then I'll put it back onto the rack. There we go. There. I think it looks pretty nice. Nice and dense. It's got some bubbles in there on the inside. Do that every day. Yeah, that looks good. Put that back on the put that up there to cool. There we go. I'll get my butter. Here we go. The beagle's like, which way do I go? I'm like, just move. Just move. Give that a taste. All right. Don't spare the butter. See how that, there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's where it's at. And one thing I highly recommend is when you're making bread, get the salted butter. Beans wants a bite too? She does. She's actually standing right there, looking at me, waiting for her piece. Here you go. Yeah. Man, that's good. If you guys have never tried yogurt bread, I highly suggest it. And that temperature was, I like that temperature better than what I actually put up as a recipe, and the recipe that I've been using. Because I had it at 450 for 25 minutes, and then 10 minutes at 400, I think. I'd have to go back and look. But I tell you what, they, that 425, and then go down to, for 25 minutes, and then do the, whatchamacallit, and then do the lid off for the last 10 minutes at 375, and that's, I like that texture a lot better than the other. It's not like, the crust on the bottom isn't hard. And steaming it, if you guys saw me put the ice cubes in there, when I did the lid part, that was definitely, that helps so much. And do that anytime if you're doing sourdough, regular bread. If you're doing it in a Dutch oven, throw those 3, 4, 5 ice cubes behind the parchment paper, and it does make all the difference in the world. Super good. The texture of yogurt bread is so good. I wish I wouldn't have been so limited on my yogurt amount that I had today. I would have liked to have added just a little bit more, and then if I would have had a little bit more yogurt, it wouldn't have blown out that way. It would have been more of a solid. It'll look more like it's supposed to. But it comes out. It looks like a sourdough loaf when it's done. You know how like regular sandwich bread, white bread, wheat bread comes out and it's real smooth looking. Yogurt bread doesn't really do that, but if you have a little bit more yogurt, it won't blow out like that. And I could have done a deeper slice, and it would have came out a little bit better. So that's a trick. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. The taste is great. Is that like soda bread? It's sort of. Yeah, it is a lot like soda bread because there's just so few ingredients, and there is no yeast in this at all. It's just yogurt, flour, salt, and baking powder, and that's all there is to it. Yeah. So it's very, very similar to soda bread, but without the baking soda. There's no baking soda in it. So yeah, it's pretty similar. So we'll check this out. We'll give this one more look. We'll check out our soup one more time, and then we'll get out of here. And I will get back doing what I got to get done today. So anyway, let's check out progress on the soup. Let's see how that's looking. And I am going to move that back to the bigger burner. It's going to need it. But that soup's going to be really nice, and the carrots are already starting to turn. It's got a great smell. I can really smell those garden carrots. Smell so much better than factory-grown carrots or baby carrots from the store. When you cook them, you can really smell them. And that basil's in there. You can see the basil. That's why I left the basil in there, the way it is, so you could actually see it when you eat it. And all the herbs, I didn't cut them up, and all that. The onions are nice big pieces, and the chicken's going to be big pieces. So that's going to be. If I wanted Campbell's soup, if I want a little piece of chicken, I'd open a can of Campbell's soup. But I want to see my chicken when I'm eating it. That'll be really good once it's cooked. And I am going to add a little bit more water, but I'll do that after I'm done. After I'm done here, put the lid on that. Put the lid on it. Put it neutral. Barbara Crum, how are you? Tom and Modi, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, and there's no broth in that soup. I didn't use any of the box broth or any of my own broth or anything like that. It's just straight filtered water, and that's it. That's all we got. Because that's all we need. And in a couple hours, that's going to be a nice color, and it's going to look nice. And if you do want to like add a color to it, just throw a little bit of turmeric in there. And I mean, just sprinkle the slightest amount of turmeric in there, and you will get that color that you're looking for. And actually, I'm going to do that while I'm thinking about it. Watch out, Beagle. I am going to throw just a little bit of turmeric in there so you guys can see what I'm saying. Because I didn't think about that as I was throwing this together. Because like I said, today's just a pop-up. I was kind of messing with the audio, and I wanted to see how it worked. And I was just happened to be cooking at the same time, so why not do that way? There we go. So we'll drop just a little bit, not much. I'm not trying to change the flavor profile of it. I'm just trying to. I'm not trying to change the flavor. I'm just trying to change the color. Beagle, be gone. I don't want any burnt beagles. I'll add that. There we go. Maybe just a touch more. Just a touch more. Because you can't really even smell it. You can't even smell it. But turmeric's one of those things. Let's see, gotta go myself. See you again. Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate it. Yeah, for anybody who's out there who liked what we did here today, natural eating with cast iron and all that. That's way too little even for color only. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm getting ready to add some right now. But yeah, we do this. I do a regular live stream on. I do a regular live stream on Thursdays at 8, and I do a regular live stream that I usually do, a usual of 11 o'clock Sunday mornings, and that's all Eastern Standard Time. So, there you go. There we go. You guys can see that. That added a little bit of color to it. It gives it it kind of gives you that stock, you stock look without changing the flavor too much. But it is, you know, it's Italian soup, so it's supposed to have that. You guys get a nice look at that. If I get some with the color, all that color in there. There you go. That's gonna be really, really good. So there. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Can't wait. Come on, dinner time. But I'll be good and hungry by the time it gets there. So we got that. We got that. We got our yogurt bread here. And I think that's gonna be a great dinner. All right. But anyway, what we got? Let me check the comment section real quick and just say, yeah, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and actually do something other than stare into the camera and go, come on, chat, say something. Say something, chat. I'm gonna get the Beagle to do one more spin for some of her chicken that she got, that we made for her, and then we're gonna get on out of here. Come here, Beagle, you want some chicken? All right, one more spin for the folks out in the stratosphere, and then we're out of here. Come on, give me a spin. There you go. All right. And that's about it. All right. Let's see. Well, I hope you enjoy your dinner, enjoy your family and everyone. Speak to you guys soon. Have a great day. I really enjoy watching you. Thanks so much, Marge. I appreciate you being here. I really do. That's what makes it fun, you know? And that was one of the things. I mean, I was playing around with the audio and stuff like that in the background. But thanks, Ronald. Appreciate you showing up. Pat Z and Pat Z, thanks for say your name. And there you are. But I appreciate everybody that showed up and all the new subscribers and all the nice people. Because that's the thing. I mean, I was playing around with the YouTube options today, but it's always nice. Well, I was bored, and yeah, Huey, thanks, buddy. And you know, how people kind of go back and forth with when I'm trying out different things and doing different stuff, and kind of pass on what I know and learn a few things on the way, because I don't know everything. What I don't know about cooking could fill my entire kitchen up, so it's always nice to get pointers and people out there with suggestions. A lot of them come in handy. So anyway, but we're gonna jump out of here. You guys have a great day, and I will see you for sure on Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, see you.